Hi, welcome back to Miss Frey's channel. In this video we're going to look at market equilibrium and how a surplus is calculated and how equilibrium is restored. So to identify a surplus in a market, we need to first understand our supply and demand curves. Our basic supply and demand curves can be shown through market supply and market demand. Market supply is calculated through all the producers, adding up the sum total of their goods and services that they are willing and able to supply at particular price points. The demand curve is calculated by adding up all the individuals, so all the consumers, their demand for a good or service at a particular price point. So it's the sum total of all the producers and all the consumers added up, and that data gives us the ability to plot it. Once we plot our data, we have our curve. If you need a refresh on this, go back and look at videos 1 to 3 on market equilibrium. Where the curves intersect is called market equilibrium. This is where we can say that quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. So this means that all the consumers and their demand is exactly equal to all the businesses and the producers and what they are willing to supply. The symbols that we use here are PE. So PE stands for price equilibrium, and QE stands for quantity equilibrium. So you can see on the graph here, when we are graphing our equilibrium, PE is on the y-axis. We draw our dotted lines across to where they intersect in the middle, and then draw dotted lines downward where it connects into our quantity, which is our x-axis, and we label this QE. So always remember all of your labels. Once we've found our equilibrium, we know that the equilibrium is the perfect point where all the consumers' demand is equal to all the producers' supply. If this changes, there's going to be a surplus or a shortage. So in this case, we're going to first look at a surplus. So a surplus occurs when the price is above the equilibrium point. So if the price increases above the equilibrium point, this will impact the quantities and create a surplus. So as you can see on our graph, we have put our new price point at P1. Draw your dotted lines across. Where it intersects with the demand curve, we have drawn new dotted lines downward, and that is our new quantity demanded, labeled QD. Keep drawing your dotted lines across. Where it hits your supply curve, dotted lines go down. This is your new quantity supplied at QS. So because quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded, the way that we can see this is using our x-axis along the bottom. We can see that quantity supplied is more than quantity demanded, therefore there's too much in the market for the demand, so we've got a surplus. And we can label our surplus between the two curves at the top where the word surplus is. The way that we fix this is through re-establishing market equilibrium. But as a result of the higher price, the producers will supply more at QS, therefore there is more than what the consumers demand at QD. Another word that we use instead of surplus is excess supply. So let's just imagine that we were a donut shop and we made all these beautiful donuts, and now we've got too many donuts. So our supply of donuts is more than the customers that want them. So there's not enough customers to buy all the donuts that we have made. What would we do to get rid of all the donuts? Because we've got too many and there's not enough customers, we could lower the price to get rid of the excess stock. This would make it more affordable for the consumers, therefore the demand would increase. So when the prices go down, the producers will supply less because now they are making less profits. And as the prices go down, the demand will also increase because more people are willing and able to purchase the good or service, and in this case it's donuts at that particular price point. So on a graph, we can see that as the price decreases, the supply will decrease. So I've drawn a new price point here at P2 just to show the effect of the price decreasing. So at P2, we do the same thing, draw the dotted lines across. Where it intersects on the demand curve, dotted lines go down. You can see that that is now labeled QD1. Draw the dotted lines across back where it intersects with the supply curve. Dotted lines go down, QS1, so it's that dark purple color. So we can see that our surplus has decreased from the green lines where the original surplus was. There's still a surplus at P2, but not as much. So what's going to happen is that the producers will continue to lower the prices to get rid of excess stock. Their supply will go down, and as the price goes down, consumers will want to buy more, so demand will increase. And we can see that the demand has increased from QD to QD1, and the supply has decreased from QS to QS1. So this will continue to happen until the equilibrium price is reached. So equilibrium, remember, is the point in the middle where that red dot is, and this will clear our excess surplus. And then this is where PE is now equal to QE again. So now try the pages in your economics learning workbook from 119 to 128. The whole process will be identifying whether a shortage or a surplus occurs and how to clear it, or how to sell more. So you're either clearing the surplus or creating more if there is a shortage.